should start by talking about what you're doing with Powerade.
Of course.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, I mean, Powerade, I'm so thankful and honored to be a part of this campaign. Pause is power. It's a great campaign, and I'm sure some people have seen the commercials and things like that running on the NCAA tournament, and I'm not so sure people are aware, but you can go to Powerade.com. These student athletes can go to Powerade.com and actually sign up to win a $10,000 prize. So they'll be able to have $10,000 shopping spree this summer as they take their pause and be able to start their next school year fresh.
What would you say is the ultimate pause that you've experienced?
It'd be hard for me to really pick like one pause, the ultimate one, because it would take a minute to think about it, but I'm sure that I've taken so many pauses throughout my career and throughout my life that have really helped me and helped me get to where I needed to get just for that day or for that week or whatever the case may be. That those pauses that I didn't even really know that I had taken. But yeah, I think taking a pause, not only for athletes, I think it's important for just regular old human beings to sit down and take a pause and to touch on the athletes part of it. I think the better human being that you are, the better off athlete you'll be in the future.
Dude, it's also was kind of funny. I was thinking last night. I was like, the pauses power thing is your teammate Chris Webber in March. Obviously knows a little bit about
Oh man, yeah. Yeah. I think that would be a touchy situation, touchy subject there. I don't think it was his fault, man. Somebody was yelling at him. I know it's so unfortunate for him because as long as we have March Madness and as long as C-Web's with us, man, that's going to coincide every March, bro.
You've had a kind of an interesting last couple of weeks. Man, some basketball fans are calling you out for stuff because for some heated takes. In some appropriately great heated basketball takes, and I love that you're not backing down on them either. Like, you're clarified, you're speaking through it. Like,
yeah, I mean, I said what I said, and I mean what I meant. I mean, Kobe Bryant is the greatest Laker of all time, but that doesn't mean that he's the greatest basketball player that ever played for the Lakers. You know what I mean? It's kind of like if I said D Wade was better than LeBron. LeBron is a better basketball player than Dwayne Wade. But when you think about the Miami Heat, who do you think of?
You think about D Wade.
Of course. I mean, he is the Miami Heat, just like Kobe Bryant is the Lakers. And Kobe Bryant will always be when you think about the Lakers, that's the first person you think of. But I think there were 5 better basketball players that played for the Lakers at one time, but Kobe, that's not taking away anything from Kobe Bryant. He's one of the greatest basketball players that's ever walked the face of this earth. So, but no, I love the comments and the heat that I'm taking, because that means these Kobe Bryant fans are for real, and I'm glad they are.
Yeah, so I'm curious on that. Like, I think that's a good frame of thinking in the debate. Like, where would you put LeBron, who's played for in 3 teams now, greatest Cavs of all times? Where do you put him when Kobe is the greatest Laker of all time, which is a great frame of thinking for it. Where do you put LeBron using that same logic?
I think you got to attach LeBron with the Cavs, like you have to attach my name with the Sacramento Kings. I mean, absolutely. I'm not putting my name on the same pedestal as LeBron and Kobe and all those guys. No, nowhere near that. But like, when you think of franchises with my career, you think of Sacramento Kings. So I think the question you ask is LeBron James is connected with Cleveland, to me, in my opinion.
I also thought, one of the things that was interesting, and I feel like it didn't bubble up as much, that came up in your conversation the other week, was, when you were talking about the age-old LeBron Jordan, conversation, I thought you had a really good point about the like Jordan didn't have to deal with like illegal defense, and these kind of different like things that like the game evolves. That's what happens.
Right.
But like I'm curious about how you think about that. You put, let's say 93 era Jordan in the league today. What do you see?
I memean, obviously he's going to be great. I mean, Don't get me wrong, but I think it'll be a little harder for him now because, like you said, the defenses have changed, and now he's going to have three guys on the same side of the floor when he has the ball in the wing, whereas back in the day he just had one guy. And of course, I mean, anybody in the NBA is going to beat anybody one-on-one, let alone Michael Jordan. So yeah, I mean, I think he'll be great, be an all-star for sure, but not the Michael Jordan that he was back then, if that's fair to say.
Yeah. That, I mean, because the game is just different. It's just
so different. Like Shaq wouldn't be as dominant as he was back then today. Just because there'll be 4 or 5 guys around him, and they didn't even have the ball, so it'd be tough.
What about you? What about if you were in? How would you feel like you would shape up?
I think I would fit in. I think I would struggle from the aspect of the scoring part, because I think a lot of these point guards, most of these point guards running these teams are scoring 25, 30 points a night. And I wasn't that kind of guy. I didn't have that kind of mentality. I'm looking for other guys to shoot. But don't get me wrong, I'd have fun trying to score 30.
So that brings up just, my kind of last question. A lot of like, look, exactly what you said. You and the Kings, forever your legacy, like, and a wonderful legacy of so many incredible moments in my childhood. I saw a couple like murmurs here and there about like, Jason Williams getting a front office job there someday, like doing something like that with the organization. Would you have you like?
Although, that's music to my ears. I mean, anything to do with help Sacramento out the way they helped me out, bro. I would love to get in the organization somehow. I just feel like I love the game so much, and I feel like these younger kids that are coming into the league, I think they need some advice from some veterans that's wore their shoes before. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So if that happened to be in Sacramento, bro, that would be great. I'm bored to death with my life. I would love to have something to do. I've played golf a lot. Golf's hard. It's frustrating sometimes. But like you said, man, I'd love to be part of some organization. And if it happened to be Sacramento, that'd be awesome.
Who's in your NBA alumni golf corps?
There's not too many people there's no retired guys live here in Orlando where I live. So I got to travel and try to set up different games with guys, but I try to keep, Chris Quinn, assistant coach with the Heat. He'll play some with me. Jason Capono, Michael Doliak. These guys are pretty good golfers. So I try not to let them beat me too much.
Awesome, man. Well, this is Jason. This was great, man. Appreciate the time, man.
I appreciate you having